Hey peeps, Claudia King here, founder of Automio, creator of Scale Up and award-winning legal innovator. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to build your dream law firm. So this is all about designing and creating a law firm that you love. So let's get into it. So peeps, here is the thing. What I've learned is that there's a lot of law firm owners feeling incredibly dissatisfied with their work. They've completely fallen out of love with their job. They feel like they're just hustling day in and day out, and they've kind of really lost energy and enthusiasm for helping the clients that they help and solving the problems that they solve. There is a real opportunity though in front of you to use your law firm as a vehicle to create your dream life. So instead of feeling like you don't ever get time for the things that matter to you most, you can actually design your law firm to make sure that you do get time for those things and to feel passionate about the problems that you solve and to have time to think about what it is that you want next. I totally understand the feeling of sort of helplessness when it comes to being in the trenches when you're practicing law. When I had my law firm before I scaled it, I was so close to burnout in my late 20s, and I remember talking about it with friends and family and law firm coaches and all the people, and they would say things to me like, well, what is it that you want? Like, what do you want to do? What's your why? And I'd be like, look, I don't fucking know the answer to that question. I'm over here hustling my ass off. All I can think about is what's directly in front of me, what the next task is. I don't have time to think about my why or what I want to do with my life. I need to put out this fire. I need to deal with this team issue. I need to deal with this client demand. I need to do the Law Society end of month review. I need to respond to the audit. There was just no space in my mind to think about anything other than what was directly in front of me. And so I felt very out of alignment with myself and with what it is that I actually wanted. Like I didn't know how to answer that question. And I think that that's the same with a lot of law firm owners I talk to. I sense that they feel a real sense of, even though they're running their own business, they feel a real sense of disempowerment and a real lack of autonomy around their own life and their business because they're on the hamster wheel and having to hustle to keep it all going. What I do know though is that when you do take a step back for a moment and decide to make some positive changes, like I said, you really can use your law firm as a vehicle to create your dream life. And that's why I wanted to share this framework with you today. This is my 5-step framework for building your dream law firm to create the life that you crave. So, step 1, look at your skills and passions. So this might seem kind of obvious, but when you're on that hamster wheel and when you're so busy, often we forget about what we can actually do and what those skills are that we have and what we are passionate about. So it's a great opportunity to write a list or brainstorm, get out the whiteboard, do it with a friend, think about all the skills that you have. Think about all the ways that you can make money, all the ways that you've made money in the past. Think about all the different services and products that you've sold over the years. And this isn't just law. This is, of all time. Like let's look at everything, because there may be a way that you can bring in some other skills and passions that perhaps you haven't thought about for a while into what you're doing. So other things to think about is, what do you really care about? What are you passionate about? What can you rant for 10 minutes about nonstop? What do friends and family come to you for? What are some industries that you know a lot about and that you're passionate about? So have a think about some of those things. Write them down and consider them for a moment. And think about your work now and how aligned that is with what you've just written down. Step number 2 is work your strengths. So something I find really interesting about law firm owners and their feelings of like lack of alignment or misalignment with what they do is that often they do not know what they're naturally good at, what they're strong at, what their strengths are. And the truth of the matter is that no matter what we do in our business and in our life, if we don't find a way to work in our strengths most of the time, we will never rise above the dissatisfaction. If you're feeling dissatisfied right now, you will not rise above that unless you become familiar with what you're naturally good at and work in those natural strengths, most of the time. And strengths are different from skills. So a skill is something that you've learned on the job or that you learned at uni or you learned when you were doing your doing profs. So what are your strengths? And the best way to find out is to go and do some strengths testing. I do this with my team. I use Clifton Strengths Finders or Gallup Strengths Finders. So you can go and do that and find out about your top strengths and your lesser strengths. There's also Kobe. There's also DISC. A free one that you can jump on and use right now is 16personalities.com. So go and have a look, figure out which one you like. I remember to figure out which one I like doing. I took them all initially, and the one that I found was most sort of aligned with who I am and explained it the best was Strengths Finders, which is why I use that one for me and for my team, and that's the one that I get my law firm owner customers to use as well. So go and do the test and find out about what your strengths are and have a think about what you're doing now in your business and your law firm and think about what your strengths are and see how they're aligned, because you'll probably find there's some real misalignment there. And so then you can begin to start thinking, well, how could I evolve my law firm? How could I design it so that I'm working in my strengths more? Now, that's not something you're going to figure out in an hour. That's something that you're going to need to, ruminate on for a while, because it's not sort of a quick decision. These are big fundamental decisions and things to think about. So step number 3 is narrow your niche. So now you know your skills and your passions. Now you understand what your strengths are. So now it's time to figure out how to niche your law firm. So narrowing your niche is all about solving one specific problem for one specific type of client. So at the moment, most lawyers, do a lot of work for a lot of different clients, a lot of different services, and there's a lot of complexity caught up in that leads to exhaustion and burnout. So when you narrow your niche, you're simplifying your law firm in a way that's going to help you to get good systems, processes, technology, and people in place so you can take a step back and move more into a leader or CEO role, so that you are not hustling day in and day out like you are now. So you're going to be able to create a lot more space for yourself by narrowing your niche. And now that you've had a look at your passions and your skills and your strengths, figuring out what your niche is a really good next step. Now, I've done other videos on narrowing your niche. So if you are wanting to go and check them out, go into YouTube and Google Claudia King or Tomio niche, and the videos on that will come up so that you can get my frameworks on how to actually niche your law firm. Step number 4 is to design an online legal solution. So now that you know what your niche is, you can create an online legal solution that you can sell largely online to your ideal clients without you being involved in the day-to-day. Now, this is something that takes time to get in play, but the best time to start is now. And the way that you do it, a lot of law firm owners want to go off and build this great online legal service and use all this technology, but that is not the best way to create an online legal service. The best way to do it is to design it in terms of figuring out on a piece of paper what it is and who it's for and what the price point is. And so to do that, it's really about thinking about your ideal client and looking at their fears and frustrations, their problems, and then looking at what they want to achieve, and then figuring out how to take them from their problem to where they want to be. And in that middle piece is what your online legal solution will be. So going about designing that by looking at your clients' pain points and being really focused on that and taking them to where they want to go and designing a solution around that is going to really help you to cut out the complexity in your law firm, create a legal service or a legal solution that gets really good results for your clients, and will help you to, over time, figure out how to step back from the delivery of that legal solution. And then step number 5 is pre-launch it. So again, you haven't yet built this online legal solution. You haven't gone and got the tech or started creating the content or any of that. At this stage, you've just got sort of the bones of what the online legal solution could be. And that might be as simple as it having a name and a few bullet points of what it is plus a price, just something that you can go out and pitch. So the next, so step 5 is pre-launch it. So pre-launch is all about taking that online legal solution design and pitching it to some of your target clients and getting them to buy it, and then you can use that money to actually fund the build out of your online legal solution. Now this is super important because I have seen so many lawyers go and spend a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time and a whole lot of energy on building out this big solution only to find out that the ideal clients do not want to buy it. I know one lawyer who has spent over $900,000 building an online legal solution, and they have sold like $2,000 worth of the online legal solution because they've missed the mark. They didn't test it early on, they didn't pre-launch it. They built it thinking that people will come, but that's just not the way it works. It's about creating a minimum viable product, which is really just a list of what the solution includes, going out and pitching that to people, getting them to buy it, and then using that to actually build it out. And if nobody's buying it, then that is possibly a good sign that either it's not quite right or that perhaps you're pitching it wrong. So doing that pre-launch will help you save so much time and money and energy in building out this big thing that nobody actually wants. So let me just go through those 5 steps to building your dream law firm again. So number 1 is look at your skills and passions. Number 2 is work your strengths. So remember, strengths are things that you're naturally good at, you're born being good at. Number 3 is narrow your niche. So choosing to focus on solving a specific problem for a specific type of client. Number 4 is designing an online legal solution for your ideal client. And number 5 is pre-launching that online legal solution. So pre-launching it before you build it to make sure that there is demand for it. So once you've done these 5 things, and if you have a successful pre-launch, then you're going to be able to go and start building that out. And as you do, what will naturally happen is that you'll get the processes in place, you'll get the people in place, you'll get the systems in place to build out that online legal solution. And once you get these things in place, along with the right technology, you'll be able to begin to step back from that day-to-day hustle that's just keeping you feeling so trapped at the moment. And the great thing about starting to step back is it's going to start freeing up space in your mind just to think, which is such a wonderful thing because you can start to think of the answers to those questions, like what is your why? What do you want? What projects are you passionate about pursuing? The sorts of things that you just don't have time to think about when you're trying to put out the next fire or deal with the next client demand. All right, peeps, as always, I want to challenge you to continue building your dream law firm so that you can get more impact, freedom, and money in your lawyer life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
If there's anything these past months have shown us, it's that the time to make lasting, impactful change in the legal industry is right now. So I want to challenge you to shake things up and create change today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video with your lawyer friends. See you next week.